Hello, my name is Abby Atkinson. I just finished up my internship at the Child and Family Support Center in Logan, Utah. We came about the Child and Family Support Center because we called the internship office and asked them if they had any recommendations for an internship here in Logan, Utah, because we were having a really hard time knowing where to start. We tried the LDS Family Services, but they were only taking USU students for internships, and that's kind of what we were running into every place that we checked. They just wanted to hand the internships to Utah State students. So we called the internship office to see if they give us any recommendations, and they sent us a list to our email. We decided to print off a bunch of our resumes because when we had previously searched, they were asking for resumes. So we printed some resumes, and then we went to each location and we tried, and when I say we, my husband and I went together. We were both doing an internship for the same degree. So we went to each location and we tried to talk to the people who were in charge of internships instead of just the secretaries. And we left a resume and told them the dates that we were trying to get our internship going, and kind of explained what we were expecting from our internship. And then we waited for callbacks, and we did get a few callbacks. A lot of places offered us jobs and said that we could count that as our internship, but the more that we tried to figure out how we'd make that work, it just wasn't gonna happen for us. So we got a call back from the Child and Family Support Center, and they explained to us what our job would be, which would be in the nursery. They had a crisis and respite nursery that we'd be working in with the kids each week for a certain amount of hours, and then in the middle of our internship we'd start teaching step family classes and kids classes. So we thought that that lined up pretty well with our degree and thought that the timing was going to be perfect, so we went forward with them. And our responsibilities with the internship, we had kids that we saw every week. So they were our respite kids. So they had a set aside time that they would come each week and come to the nursery. And it was for families who didn't have a lot of resources, who didn't have anybody that could watch their kids, and so that's how they kind of qualified to use our services. And then another time that we were in there is I was on call on Wednesday nights, so if we had any kids that needed to come in the middle of the night, I would go in to stay the night with them. So there was rooms in there that they could come and stay, and I stayed 2 nights with some kids, different kids both times. So that was part of my responsibility. I had to be ready to be able to go in every Wednesday if I needed to. And Step Family Classes is a program that was designed by USU, and our facility taught the classes. And it was broken down. There was teachers for the parents, and then the kids were broken into different age groups, and then there was teachers assigned to each age group. So I was in charge of the 13 to 18-year-olds, and we had a very specific outline of what we were supposed to teach, and we had to stick with that outline. There wasn't very much creativity involved because we had to stick exactly with what we were in charge of teaching. So we did that. I alternated with my co-teacher. We each had a co-teacher, and I alternated with her. Every other week we would take a turn teaching. Then kids classes was kind of the same way. So Step Families was at night on Tuesdays for 3 hours. It was a 3-hour class, and the kids classes is for 1 hour. And we had many different classes for kids broken up by age again. And I was in charge of the 13 to 18-year-olds again, and it was a class called Why Try. And this was every Tuesday for an hour. And I also alternated with that co-teacher for we would teach every other week. So that class kind of talked about different things that they would probably experience as teenagers and ways to handle struggles and challenges and how to remain optimistic. And the last thing that we were in charge of was fundraising, and this was kind of sporadic throughout the summer. There was different events they were having to raise money for the center. So one fundraising event that I did was I sat at a car show and gave out information on our center and explained the different ways that they could get involved with our center. And then another fundraising opportunity I had was on the 4th of July. We were in a parade, and I passed out flyers alongside the parade, or alongside our float. So those were some of the fundraising activities. They have a ton more throughout the year. The summer is kind of a slower time for fundraising. So, and how did I benefit the site? And I felt like I gave the kids a good time when they were there. I really tried hard to make sure that we had an enjoyable time for them, because I knew that they came from stressful situations and oftentimes not the best family background. So I tried my hardest to make sure that while they were there, they were really having a good time. We would do crafts and played games that maybe they didn't usually play. And so I tried really hard to make sure that we were having fun while they were there. I was dependable for my managers. I made sure that I was always there when I said I would be, and that I was always doing what I was supposed to be doing. And I was also willing to do anything. That's probably why I did both the fundraising activities, because I just volunteered my time whenever I could to do what they needed. And the last one I thought was really important when I did my kids classes and my step family classes. I tried to be creative in ways, not so much with the step family class because we had to stick with that curriculum exactly, but with my kids class I tried to be really creative because some of our topics were difficult and I wanted my kids to be entertained and want to come back to class. So I tried to be creative in how I got the subject across, and I tried to be enthusiastic about it so that they would be excited about it also. I benefited from this experience because I learned so many new things. I learned new skills about how to handle families and children and how to talk about certain subjects with them. I learned about how to be professional, not only in dress but also in my attitude. And I learned how important children are. I loved the children that I worked with, and I felt like I learned so much from them. They will tell you exactly what they need if you listen. So that's what I thought I learned from them. And I also learned about all the community programs that we have here in Logan. I didn't know that we had so many things available to us and to families. So that was really important. I'm glad I got to understand those things. An important connection between my coursework and my internship is that in my child development classes, we learn, what kids should be doing at certain ages and what kind of their benchmarks are. And then I also learned about theories in another class about families and how to apply different theories to families. And I felt like I used both those things in my internship. Both of them helped me so much because the child development really helped me understand what I should be expecting from each child because of their age. And the different theories I learned helped me to kind of know how to respond to kids who are going through different situations in different family lives. I would recommend this site. They're a little bit disorganized, so it's kind of hard to know exactly what's expected from you, but all in all, I thought it was a great experience, and I learned so much, and I think it's a great place for other people to do their internship. The person that you would talk to is Jennifer Bear. This is their website. Here's their phone number, and they're located in the northern part of Logan, the north end. And they're also opening a new center in Hiram, which if you're from the Cache Valley, you know where that's at. And if you aren't, it's the southern-ish part of Cache Valley. So that's who I would talk to. Jen is very nice. She's willing to work with you in whatever situation you're in. She has had BYU Idaho students before my husband and I, and she really liked them. She doesn't have any problem giving an internship to students outside of USU, so she's a great resource to use. And she used to be just over the interns, but now she's a manager over the whole center. So she can get you as many hours as you need. She worked really well with us to make sure that we reached all of our hours, and she was good about helping us with our kids classes, with our step family classes, and anything else that we really needed. She was there to answer all of our questions and give us the resources we need to make sure we were fulfilling our internship. So all in all, I would really recommend the Child and Family Support Center. I learned a ton, and I'm grateful for the opportunity I had to have an internship and to have my internship here at this center. And I feel like they really are doing great things for families and for kids, and the people that work there really do care and love about each child that comes through there and each family that they deal with. So that is that for my internship. Thanks.